All I do is rattle on.
I know, let's keep it short and concise, don't we?
Yeah, a bit like you. Okay, so what have we done today?
Today we have taken
Big
up...
day. Start again.
Today we've taken out the gearbox. It wasn't too bad actually. We thought it was going to be a bit of a nightmare, but it was okay. We just worked through it methodically. You'll see in some of the pictures some of the bits we had to do. Unfortunately, because it involved both of us lifting and shifting things and undoing bolts and using jacks and stuff, I couldn't do as much filming as I'd like to have done, showing the gearbox actually coming apart. And all the other bits that actually hold it in. We've got some time-lapse footage which should show the overall sort of process, hopefully.
Luckily on this particular car we've made it so that actually the rear clam can come completely off the back of the car, with a couple of bolts here and there that secure it, which makes working on it so much easier. It's one of the joys of working on the Elises, is that if you can get it so the rear clam comes off, then actually it saves you so much time in the long run because of your access available around the engine. The process that we used today was that we took the engine cover off, we took the back of the clam off, we dropped down all the under trays, and then we started working on the bits that needed to come off, like the air induction, which was actually full of rubber and rubble.
It was, surprisingly, yeah.
Gravel. So off the track, we assume it's been picked up from Snetterton. And we've got an issue with the engine that we found a slight misfire that we're not sure where that's from. So it might just be a case of plug leads or the spark plugs need changing or something like that.
And the other problem we did find, which was very unexpected, was the alternator. At first we thought it was just missing its belt. It turns out it's actually the tensioning bracket. It's actually cracked all the way through and broken. So we went through the entire race. I don't know when it happened, but you said you thought you saw a belt on the track.
I saw a belt on the track, but it may well have not been ours, but it could have been.
The belt's certainly not in the car now anyway, so we don't know where that happened. Yeah, so new belts, new tensioning bracket. We're also going to take the alternator off to be serviced again, seeing as it's out of the car now. It just makes sense to get it done. We've had it done once before. We had a failure at a track day, wasn't it a track day at
Silverstone? Yeah.
So the electronics on the back of the alternator basically fried themselves, didn't they? Because of it's running at higher speeds than it would do on the road for longer periods, because we're always going to the top of that rev range. So as a precaution to save us that hassle again, take it away to a local guy that can service it, put some new components on. It's not that expensive, is it? But
40-50 quid, isn't it?
Like that, yeah.
And it's well worth it. You don't want anything to be an issue when you arrive at track, which we're learning quite quickly.
That's right.
And we want it to be perfect.
Yes, exactly. And the other thing on that point, actually, seems we've got the gearbox off now. We'll have a look at the clutch, price it up, see if we can afford to put a new clutch in there, because it's done. What do we think about four or five races?
Four races
plus track days.
Yeah.
One additional fault we've found with the car since getting it back to the garage and looking at it, this seat bracket is actually bent. You can see it's incredibly high quality steel, so it must have been some enormous force. I'm going to guess probably Ben's weight has caused this to cripple, and it's probably fractured beyond repair. So we'll have to do something about that. Probably get a new bracket made up, or maybe even a whole new mounting system, possibly even a new seat. You never know, one that can take Ben's weight.
So essentially we've got the gearbox off, and we've got a new to us gearbox, which is a gearbox with a lower ratio final drive, which we are going to take the final drive out of the new to us gearbox, and put it in our existing gearbox, along with steel cage bearings, a slight modification to the selector forks because it runs particularly hot in these cars, and that's it.
Good.